This morning, that massive winter storm bringing dangerous conditions all along the East Coast.
Oh my God.
From Florida to Maine. The first significant snowfall hitting the I-95 corridor hard. In Massachusetts, Worcester and Boston seeing their first major snow in 2 years. Interstate 90 impassable in spots. Cars spun out and drivers stranded waiting for help. Plows out in force trying to keep ahead of the accumulating snow. Up and down the East Coast, the snow piling up on roads, making travel dicey. Drivers having to take it slow. Up to 10 inches possible in northwest New Jersey before the storm is done. Watch as this truck slides out of control in Bergen County. It is coming down in Springfield, Massachusetts. Look at Main Street, completely snow-covered. Snowfall rates easily over an inch an hour. And in New York City, just 0.2 of an inch of snow. The city on a 693-day streak without an inch of snow falling. And down in Florida, the same system spawning this tornado in Fort Lauderdale. Power transformers flashing as it strikes. Twister moving quickly over land before reaching the ocean. The ripping winds uprooting trees, knocking this one onto a home. Luckily, no injuries reported.
And then eventually, as we go into Saturday evening, there's going to be a lot of stuff happening here, but this winter storm is going to be growing in size. So this winter storm will be impacting far more people by Saturday night, stretching from Delaware and New Jersey back into Georgia. And even look at this. Back over in Florida, we could see some Gulf effect snow. It's not something that you hear very often. It's probably not something that you've heard of in a very long time if you're back over in Florida, or maybe ever. But there is a possibility Saturday night with our westerly winds, we could have some moisture slamming into areas near Tampa, Florida, and even near Sarasota, and that could lead to some snow flurries Saturday night. I would not even rule out maybe a coating in an isolated location. It's crazy stuff. That's going to be on the table. On the top of that, we'll also have some moisture on the back side of this low pressure system, winds coming out of the north, and that could lead to some rare snowfall near Jacksonville, maybe as far south as Daytona Beach. So keep an eye out Saturday night if you're back over in Florida. While it's extremely cold, we could also have some snow happening. But if you're right along the coastline, I think right around 4 to 8 inches of snow is on the table, especially along the immediate coastline of Delaware, Maryland, and New Jersey. And then once we go into southern New England, this is where totals really get crazy. I think this will probably be the jackpot of all jackpots out of this winter storm, as Cape Cod and Nantucket by the end of this winter storm could be talking about upwards of 12 to 18 inches of snowfall. If this storm tracks close enough to the coastline, I wouldn't even rule out an additional 2 feet of snow on top of what we just saw out of this past winter storm.
Plunging later today, you see the blues coming in, and here's tomorrow morning.
So wind is definitely going to be a factor too. So tomorrow morning, as the kids wake up from their long weekend, they're not only going to have the snow that they're going to have to trudge through, it's going to be very cold and really not improving into the afternoon, still staying with the single digit to even below zero wind chills. Hey, tonight, if we're able to clear out, there is an aurora possible.
Chance.
And yeah, chance.
These things
we
are
always say
so tricky.
they're very tricky. Yes, we always say, like, we talk about them and sometimes they don't come to fruition, but in the times that they do, it always makes for spectacular sights.
And we've seen a couple of those this year.
The last couple of years, yeah.
Yeah, so we now know that these things, I mean, we went for years, we sort of were teasing them, they never really happened, but now we saw a couple great examples recently. So tonight is another possibility. We had a G4, which is a high-level severe magnetic storm going on.
Really from Wrentham and just south of Boston, that's where we expected the higher totals. If you tuned into the Patriots game last night, you saw it was snowing quite a bit in Foxborough. The real accumulation really didn't start, though, until really almost after the game.
Yeah, I said one of my blogs last week, I feel like we're like going back in time. We're having Patriots games in the snow. We're getting real snowstorms.
Absolutely.
This feels like 3 or 4 years ago, you know?
Yeah.
So I think from my perspective, I love to see the Pats playing late in the season and it's snowing out and it becoming a factor.
It's a beautiful thing.
So fun.
Notice Boston.
Interesting sort of tug of war with the AI models versus our other models, the typical models this week. We don't talk a lot about model names and AI versus non-AI, but our regular sort of good old-fashioned GFS Euro models are all saying, nah, the cold's going to win out.
Yes.
AI is saying something different.
There are a few what we call ensemble members that are showing some support that the cold is going to lose out and the snow will actually be the story for us locally. The last storm, this one that is just finishing, the GFS AI model actually did a fairly good job of handling this compared to the non-AI version of it.
So here we go. AI is, I'm sure it's affecting your life. It's also affecting our lives. We'll see. It's so early in the AI process that I think all the meteorologists are kind of like, all right, let's see how it does.
Yeah.
In your exclusive AccuWeather 7-day forecast, the AccuWeather alert for the heavy snow and that mixing then from the afternoon into the evening for some communities tomorrow. 28 we recover on Monday, but we are not going to get a whole lot warmer. That means anything that does come down tomorrow is going to stay. And it's not just Monday. It stays all week long. We're nearly 20 degrees below average on Wednesday, Maggie. We've got sunshine in the forecast, so at least that's the silver lining. But the first day we could get close to 30, if not push into the middle 30s. Well, that could be February 1st, which is a whole week away. It is very cold out there, and the clouds will increase, a good indication that that forecast will be changing. We are sub-zero right now when it comes to how we feel. 3 below for Philadelphia, 5 below in Allentown. You need all of the layers. Really, no exposed skin is the way to go today, with even that brutal wind chill through the afternoon, feeling for much of the area like the single digit. And that's where 10 to 14 inches of snow is possible. From Reading to Allentown into the Poconos, around 8 for Philadelphia, but some of the northwest suburbs from Chester County into Bucks County, Montgomery County, closer to 10 inches, 6 to 8 from Middletown to Manahawkin, Toms River, 3 to 6 in Wildwood. A closer view for you again, Philadelphia right on the cusp of 6 to 8 inches, and then again closer to 10, Norristown out to Doylestown. Even Exton in that range of 8 to 10 inches.
So ironic, a warming planet creating these intense deep freezes, but the thermodynamics actually line up.
It's counterintuitive, but yes. More moisture, more latent heat.
More fuel.
More fuel.
Time as a blizzard in the north.
Right. Coastal Massachusetts, Maine, they're looking at total whiteout conditions. And the travel numbers, I mean, they're just staggering. Fern canceled 20,000 flights. Gianna's projected to take out another 13,500.
It's a cascading failure. A plane stuck in Boston means a canceled flight in L.A. When you add it all up, the economic estimates for both storms are sitting at what? Between $105 and $115 billion.
Billion, with a B. It's on par with a major hurricane.
It just seems dragging that Arctic air all the way down to Florida. The forecast I saw looks brutal.
The core of the polar vortex is aiming right for the peninsula. Orlando is looking at highs of only 48 degrees.
Wow.
But the real danger is the hard freeze for the agriculture down there. Anything under 28 degrees is the kill zone for citrus and strawberries.
So you have a multi-billion-dollar agricultural disaster in the south happening at the exact same
against the Appalachian Mountains.
It's like a heist movie, where the first guy disables the alarm so the second guy can come in and rob the vault.
Yeah, that's it.
Fern pre-cooled the ground and the lower atmosphere. So when Gianna's moisture arrives,
it's not falling as rain. It's hitting that cold wedge and turning instantly to snow and ice all along the I-95 corridor.
So if Fern hadn't happened, this might just be a wet, windy mess.
It might be, but instead we're looking at a disaster on top of an existing disaster. The infrastructure is already broken, over 1 million outages from Fern, 106 fatalities.
And now you have Gianna coming in with hurricane-force winds.
Gusts of 65 to 80 miles per hour, hitting trees and power lines that are already weakened.
And because that jet stream is dipping so far south to scoop up moisture,
the ground just plummets. But the real engine driving the speed of all this is the ocean temperature. The Atlantic is anomalously warm right now.
So the ocean is literally providing the fuel for its own destruction, in a way.
Think of it like a steam engine. That warm water is releasing what's called latent heat. It's a massive energy transfer. And that energy is what's going to intensify the cyclone so ferociously between Friday night and Sunday morning.
But Gianna isn't coming into a clean slate, is she?
Yeah.
She sort of had a setup crew.
That's a really critical piece of this puzzle, yes.
Winter Storm Fern just finished running through the region a few days ago. And from what I saw, it left behind something called...
We're concerned about coastal flooding, beach erosion. We've seen so many homes fall into the ocean over the Atlantic hurricane season. This is the type of setup that could do a similar situation, sadly.
So everything picks up tonight. Things really go downhill later tonight, so make sure preps are done probably around early afternoon to dinner time. We do have that low right offshore. That forms tomorrow, and then it strengthens and bombs out on Sunday. And winter storm warnings are now in effect.
But then, Britt, as we watch the storm form, you're talking about places along Coastal North Carolina. This isn't elevation based for places like Asheville. This is going to be closer to the coast. So, yeah, we have a lot of mountains, but we also have a lot of lower lying areas, and those areas are going to be affected, and that could cause whiteout conditions. At the coast, we're concerned about coastal flooding, beach erosion.
Let's focus on the hardest hit areas where we're expecting the biggest impact. North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. This morning we have some light radar returns. Things really go downhill later tonight, so make sure preps are done probably around early afternoon to dinner time. We do have that low right offshore. That forms tomorrow, and then it strengthens and bombs out on Sunday. And winter storm warnings are now in effect. You guys are the focus for probably the biggest impacts. The big thing here is you need to keep in mind that wind is a big part of this storm. It's very different than the storm that we were tracking this past weekend for the Northeast. And that's because this storm is going to bomb out. With that process happening, we are going to see the winds pick up dramatically, and the wind field is going to get really big. So even for folks that live to the north that have less of a snow element, you'll get the wind element and you'll get the coastal flooding element because of the wind.